Hey, what's up everyone? Today we will be learning how to create a Flux AI image generator machine to generate world-class AI imagery for social media. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now before we get started, just to share a bit about myself, my name is Cal from Dynamic AI and my goal is to explore and share practical AI automation and use cases and workflows that we can build today to get ahead in the AI race. So what exactly is Flux Image Generator, right? It is a recent AI image generator model that produces high quality content that could rival Midjourney itself. Take a look at some of these photos that have been produced by Flux. Super cool, isn't it? Like these realistic human photos with all the hands being done pretty well. This really nice anime-like photo. This really hyper-realistic space-like photo. And this photo of this guy just lying down there, super realistic and super good. So we're going to learn how to use that in our automation today, right? And so what are we going to build today for our automation? Right, we're going to create an AI image generator machine that first use a simple Chrome extension to get article text and URL for content. What this does is that we just need to highlight any content that we can find on the internet and it will automatically send it to our Make platform for automation. All we got to do is to highlight any simple text online and it will send the important information such as the URL and the text to our Make automation. And from there, in our Make automation itself, we'll then be able to use GPT and Flux AI to generate both imagery and written content from the highlighted article or text. Once we get all this content generated, we will be able to use Make and Airtable to approve and automate content, allowing us to post on all our social media platforms at ease. And so how can you leverage this workflow, right? Firstly, if you're here watching this video, I believe you fall into one of these two categories. The first is a business owner or creator. And if you fall into this, you can actually create an effective content machine to increase reach in your own niche and businesses. Now, I also believe that a lot of you fall into the other category, which is an AI enthusiast or agency. And in this case, you could build these workflows for businesses and creators. And so what will we exactly learn today in our building process? Like I mentioned earlier, first we will be creating a Chrome extension that allows us to highlight any text and send it over to our Make automation. Following that, we will be using something called Replicate, which is a platform that allows you to run AI models with a cloud API so that you don't have to use high-RAM computers to run the model. And this allows us to connect Flux API to generate images through our Make automation platform. Moving on, we then will be completing our whole automation workflow using Make to create content using GPT, Flux, and connecting it with Airtable. And last but not least, we will connect it to social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to automate our content posting. Alright, and so without further ado, let's get right into the building. And the first thing we're going to do is to build the Chrome extension. Right, so before we go into building the Chrome extension, we're going to go over to Make and create a new scenario. Alright, we're going to call this scenario Flux Image Generator Machine 1 out of 2. Alright, because we will be having another scenario created later on. Over here, the first thing I'm going to create is a webhook. So we'll create a custom webhook. Alright, and from here, we're just going to add in a new one and we're just going to call this Flux Image Generator Machine. Okay, and click Save. And once we have that, we have a link over here which we will copy to be used for our Chrome extension. Now, what this does actually is that this webhook allows us to connect our Chrome extension to our Make platform so that every time we highlight a text or get an information, it will automatically update the webhook and send to the rest of our automation workflow. Okay, once this is done, we're going to go into creating our Chrome extension. Now, all you got to do is just download the file, and I have all my resources in the link in the description, so do download that. And once you're there, you have to open up this folder called Text Selector. Right, once you have this text selector folder, we're just going to open a couple of the code and change the link to the webhook that we have just copied so that we can send it over later on. Okay, so first off, we're going to open this with a text editor. As you can see over here, there is a webhook link. So we're just going to copy that and we're just going to replace it with the webhook that we have just copied. And we're just going to click Save. Awesome, and close that. Okay, and once that is done, very simply, we're just going to go back to Chrome. Okay, and we're going to click Chrome extension. Manage extension and make sure developer mode is on. I'm just going to remove this and re-add it in. Okay. And we're just going to click load unpack. Right. And you're just going to find your folder, which is the text selector folder that we have created earlier on. And we're just going to click select and you'll open up the extension. Right. Awesome. Okay. Once this is done, very simply, we're just going to test it out. So let's say we like Marvel, so we can go to the Marvel page. So now we're in Star Wars page. Let's say we want to create content around this specific article, right? We're going to copy the content we want to cover, for example, this title. And from here, we're just going to right click this and we're going to send the selected text. And we're going to click run once and use existing data. And you can see over here, it has updated the text as well as the URL to our Make platform. So So this is super useful, and we'll be able to use this text and URL to generate our imagery content as well as our word content later on. Awesome. Now once this is done, we are done with the Chrome extension. Super simple, super effective. You can even copy any other information that you like online, and once you click send, it will automatically send it to our Make automation. So you can do whatever you want with it. Super effective, super powerful. Okay. Now moving on to continue our automation, the next thing we want to do is create an account on Replicate to set up our Flux AI image generator API. Right, so first go into replicate.com, make sure to create an account, and once you have created an account, you want to go into account settings, and you want to click onto API tokens, and make sure to create one of them, right, by clicking create tokens over here, and copy token. Okay, and so just to take a look, this will be one of the models that we will be using, which is the Flux realism model. And what we do by connecting the API is that instead of prompting it over here, we will be able to generate the image directly from our automation from Make platform. Okay, so once we have our API created, we're going to go back to Make and we're going to create the next few modules. Okay, so next module we're going to create is our prompt creator to write effective prompts for us. So I've actually created a GPT agent to write the prompts effectively for us. So I'll click OpenAI, I'll click Message and Assistant, and I'll click into my Flux JSON prompt creator. And so I'm just going to run through with you what this prompt creator does. Right, so coming into the assistant platform, you can see that's where you create your AI assistant. You can see over here I've created a Flux JSON prompt creator, whereby it is a professional prompt writer, and I've given it some task and information to return output in a JSON format. Now why this is super important, especially this component over here, is because this is the format that Flux requires for you to connect the API to it on Replicate. Okay, so you just have to copy this, similarly link in the description below, and as you can continue over here, you can see I give it a version, the input, and ask it to insert prompt, the aspect ratio, the output quality, and all these are things that you can actually change along the way if you want different aspect ratio, different output quality as well, right? And from here I also added in other specifics, context, to help it better understand how to prompt effectively. Last but not least, I also gave this GPT some examples. For example, this is a copy of the text, how Dog Poo went from Britain Ugliest Dog to Deadpool and Wolverine Star. And I also give it a JSON output on what it would actually provide us with, such as the prompt, the aspect ratio, and this allows the GPT to be able to generate similar outputs for us in the exact way that we want. So do get this in the resource below as well and create your own GPT over at platform.openai.com. And once you're done, we can go back to the Make platform. Alright, once you're done with that, we're just going to give it a message and we're going to say text is over here from the webhook. And also we're going to give it the URL, which is the URL from the webhook as well. These are information that the GPT can get to create its effective prompt. And we're just going to click OK and done. Let's rename this to Flux JSON Prompt Creator. Awesome. And make sure to click save at all times so that you don't lose your data. Once this is done, we're going to go into the next step, which is to really connect it to our Flux API. So the first thing we're going to do is to create HTTP, and we're going to click make a request. Alright, and we're going to key in the URL. And for the URL over here, we're going to copy this api.replicate.com/v1/predictions. This is for us to get the information from Flux itself. The method, we're going to change it to post. Alright, so the first thing we're going to add in for header is authorization. And over here, this is where we're going to add in the API key that we have created earlier for us to gain access to Flux on Replicate. So we're going to type in bearer, and we're going to go back to Replicate. Make sure to copy your API keys, and coming back, we're just going to paste it in. Alright, we're going to continue over here. We're going to go to body type. We're going to click raw, content type, JSON, and request content will be the content from our Flux JSON prompt creator. Over here, we're going to click yes for past response, and we're going to click OK. Done. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're going to save this again, and we're going to run this once to see what we get. Okay, similarly, we just have to highlight something from the internet. So we're going to highlight the same link, right? And we're going to send selected text. Okay, and let's go back to Make and see what we get. Okay, you can see over here, it has created the output according to what we want. So it's pretty cool. It's created a prompt for us in the JSON format, and it has sent it over to HTTP as well. So this means that it actually prompt Replicate to generate the image for us. So going back to Replicate, we can click into our dashboard, and you can see over here, the past 34 seconds, I have created a new image using the Flux Dev Realism model that we talked about. And you can click into ID and see what we get. You can see over here, it's created a epic battle scene on a desert planet of Jakku, right? So super cool, super realistic, super nice. and is generated in real time within 14 seconds. Now that we have this done, it means that our generator has worked perfectly. We're just going to continue this process so that we can get the image and send it over to our social media platform. So moving back to Make, we're just going to create the next module. This time we're going to create a module called Sleep. And why do we create a module called Sleep? Because just now, as you can see, although the image is generated in 14 seconds, sometimes it may take up to a minute or two to generate an image. So I want to make sure that the image is generated first before we send it over to the next step, right? If not, we will not be getting the information itself. So a good rule of thumb I think would be useful would be about 80 seconds, but you can play around with this and see what works best for you. And we're going to click save again as per usual. Alright, and we're going to go into the next step, which is also once again HTTP. We're going to make a request again to get the URL. And for URL, we're just going to click into the previous HTTP module. We're going to click get, right? We're going to click get over here. Okay, once this is done, the method is to get the information. So we're going to click onto header once again, type in authorization, and we're going to type in our API key. Okay, make sure to keep this safe and secure as well, as this will actually take up the credits if someone else uses it. Okay, and from there, we're going to add in the second item as well. So we add in item 2, and this one will be called content type. Over here, we're going to type in application/JSON. Okay, and similarly, we're going to have the body type, which is raw, content type, which is JSON, and the requested content, we'll keep it blank. And we're going to click pass response, okay, and we're going to click okay. Awesome. Before we move on to the next step, we're going to click run. We're going to highlight a different post this time, so let's click into this post, which sounds pretty cool. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman open up about their Deadpool and Wolverine reunion. Copy this and send selected text. And let's see what happens. Okay, and once this is done, make sure we click into the last bubble and make sure the data output is given correctly. So you can see we have managed to get the link of the output, and this is super important for us to get the image later on. You can copy these, open it up and see what we get. You can see over here, this is the image that we have created earlier. Let's come back to the automation, and next up, we're just gonna create one last HTTP, which is get a file. And this is where we wanna download the file itself. So get a file and wanna download the URL. So we're just going to click into output N1 and click OK. Awesome, and let's click save. Over here, we're done with the full process of generating an AI image with Flux AI. The last few steps we're going to do is to create written content as well for our social media posts. Right, so the next thing we're going to create is the article researcher. We're going to use Perplexity this time as it is super effective in searching up article links online. Right, so we're going to create a chat completion over here. We're going to give it a message to give our prompts. We're going to add item, and then we're going to click content. I'm going to copy it over, and you can get my prompt similarly in the resources below, right? And so over here you can see the article is the URL, right? And the text is the text from the webhook, okay? And so what we want it to do over here is you can see, we want it to analyze the provided article, we want to use the extracted phases to perform a search online, and identify 5 most relevant and up-to-date insights or facts related to the topic or article, right? You can see over here there's an example output format that we want to get from this. Right, this will be useful for our GPT later on to use this information to create text content for our posts. And over here, make sure to click user, and we can leave the rest blank and click OK. Let's change this to our researcher, our content researcher. Awesome. Okay, and click save. The next thing we'll add is our article title creator. So once again, click OpenAI Message and Assistant. And I've also previously created a GPT agent for this. So you just have to copy and paste over, and you can look in the resources below for the prompt, right? And so over here, I'm going to click open, and I'm going to find my article title creator. And I'm going to give it the information, which is the article. Would be over here, the URL. The text would be from the text over here. And additional research would be from Perplexity. We're gonna click choices, message, content. All right, and we're gonna click OK. Done. Change this name to article title creator. Awesome. Okay, Now that we've done with this, we're going to make it a little bit more fun. So in this specific workflow, we're going to automate it both onto Facebook and Instagram. Of course, you can go further or less into LinkedIn and Twitter as well. But today we're going to start with an example of how we can do it on both Facebook and Instagram, which are platforms that values imagery content like this. Okay, so the next up, we're going to create a router, right? And we're going to have two different ones. The first for Instagram, the next is for Facebook. The first one I'm going to create for Instagram, I'm going to message an assistant. This time we want to have our own Instagram content writer, right? We have the title, we have the image, we need the content, right? So I also have an Instagram GPT agent. So I'll click into Instagram caption writer. Similarly, I'll give it the information that I want, which is the text, URL, and link. So the article research is once again from Perplexity, choices, message, content. And we're going to click OK and done. Change this name to Instagram content writer. Now we also need a Facebook content writer. So similarly, I will add in my Facebook GPT agent. So I'll click onto assistant. I will find my Facebook caption writer and give it the message, which are the links required. I'm going to change this and we are done. Change this to Facebook content writer. Awesome. All right, and so one last thing we want to do before we continue this workflow is that we don't want it to automatically post for us because we want to be able to vet them through. So this time, to vet them through effectively, we are going to use Airtable to help us look through the content first before we approve them for automation. Okay, so we're just going to go into Airtable and we're going to create a new table. Once you have done so, here are the different tabs that I would like to have in my Airtable. The first one is a URL, which is a single line text. Okay. Next up, I will be creating another one called text, which is a long text. Right. This is where we're going to have the highlighted text that we have highlighted earlier on from our Chrome extension. Following that, we will have article research, which is the content from Perplexity. And I'm going to have platform, which is either Instagram or Facebook in this specific scenario. We're going to have content, which is the content generated for the specific post. We're going to have the JSON image link, which is generated by Flux. And we're going to have status, right? And we're going to have rejected, in progress, and approved. So once we approve this, we can let our automation automatically post them onto our platform, okay? And we're going to have created time, which is under created time, as well as last modified time. These two fields are important to trigger the automation moving forward later on. Okay. Once you have all of this set up, make sure to connect it to make.com. How you do that is to click onto integrations, and over here I have already connected my account to Make, so make sure to connect that and then make sure to approve this specific table as well. You can see over here, Flux social media automation, done perfectly, save changes, awesome. Okay, once that is done, come back to Make platform once again. We're going to add in the Airtable. Okay, so we're going to find Airtable and we're going to create a record. Right, this is going to update our Airtable later on. So we're going to find the table that we have earlier, which is Flux social media automation. Click it in, okay. And we're going to click table, viral social post, right, what we have earlier on. And this time is to update and link our information into Airtable. Very simple. So the first one is URL, as you can see over here from webhook. Then we're going to have text, which is also from the webhook itself. Article research, we're going to find it from Perplexity. So choices, message, content. Okay. Platform, here's the fun one. We're going to give it a camera emoji and we're going to click Instagram. So this is going to allow our automation to know what this content is for later on, right? And content, we will be getting it from our Instagram content writer. The viral title will be from the article title creator, and the JSON image link will be from a HTTP output and one. Awesome. And once this is done, we're gonna click OK. Okay, once it's done, we're just gonna clone this very quickly, bring it down. And the only changes we need to do over here is to change the content, right, which is to Facebook content writer instead. And we change the platform to Facebook. And we're just gonna give it a fire emoji because Facebook is fire. Once this is done, we're gonna click OK and we are done. Click save. And the first part of our automation is completed. So we're gonna run it once again, and this time let's see what we get from top to the end. Click run, and we're just gonna find another article under news. Let's do this one, right? Copy the text that we want, send it over, and let's see what happens in our make automation. Alright, now that it's done, let's take a look at our Airtable and see what we get. You can see over here it's updated all the information, so really cool, right? Take a look, you can expand this, you can see the article research, the platform, the content, and the image link. So super cool. Now once we have all of this done, the last thing we want to do is to be able to then approve the status and upload the content onto our social media page. Right, so how we're going to do that is to go back to make, and we're just going to create another scenario. We're going to call this Flux image generator 2 out of 2. Awesome. Okay, from here, very simply, we just need a few modules to complete this process. But the first one is Airtable, and we're going to click watch records. Right, this allows us to watch the status on Airtable. So we're going to find the same base, which is the Flux social media automation. Okay, I'm going to click table, viral social post. Right, trigger field will be last modified time, labeled field will be status. Okay, the rest we can keep it the same and click OK from now on. Alright. Next up, we're going to create a router once again. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is to create a filter over here. Right, we want to call this the approved label. So we're going to make sure the condition is the status, and we're going to click contain case insensitive, so we make sure that we get the approved status itself, and we're going to type in approved and click OK. So this filter makes sure that only after we approve the content, then it gets posted onto our social media platform. Right, from here, next thing we want to do is to create the first module for Instagram posting. So we're going to search Instagram for business. We're going to click into it, and we're going to create a photo post. Okay, make sure to connect your Instagram page to this. And once you have done so, we're going to link it to our photo URL, which is the JSON image link. The caption will be the content that we have created earlier on, and that's about it. Very simple, very fast, and we're going to click OK, and we're done. Now over here, we need to make sure to create another filter as well, and to make sure that it is the Instagram post that we're posting and not the Facebook post that we have found. So this condition will be the same. We're going to make sure the platform contains case insensitive, and we're going to type in Instagram. Okay, and click OK. Awesome. Now that's done, we're going to do the same thing for Facebook. Okay, so we're just going to click down, we're going to search for Facebook, and we're going to have Facebook create a post with photo. Okay, and we're going to make sure we click into the page that we have linked it up to. We're going to add an item. We can click I want to download photo from URL. We can click JSON image link. We can click caption, which is the viral title. Okay, and we can add in a message, which is the content that we have created earlier on. Okay, and we are done. We're going to click save first, and then we're going to go back to Airtable to see if we want to approve the post or not. Alright, so let's go back to Airtable. Let's take a look at the imagery. And you can see over here, this is not really the image that we want, as there is a little bit of a glitch over here. So what we can do simply is to recreate the same thing again and see what we get. Right, so go back to this. I'm just going to redo the whole automation, send selected text, and I'm going to rerun the process once again using existing data and see what we get. Now, so this is super cool, as you can make sure to rerun it a couple of times so that you can get the image that you want and approve it only when you're satisfied before you get it posted to your social media platform. So let's wait a moment and see what we get. Okay, once that is done, let's go back to our Airtable once again and see what we get this time around. Okay, as you can see, the image is way better now, so this is something that we will approve. So let's say we like the latest two, I'm going to reject the first two, and I'm going to approve the next two. Okay. Once we've done that, let's go back to our second workflow, and we're going to click run once and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, it's approved. Okay, super important point is to make sure to add in the filter for the Facebook as well. As I didn't do it previously, it did get two content over to Facebook, which includes the Instagram post, so that's something that we need to take note of. But besides that, once this is completed, let's take a look at our Instagram page and our Facebook to see what we have gotten so far. Okay, so this is the Instagram page that I've created for testing. You can take a look. It has just posted a new post, right? Beautiful post of Cassandra Nova, and it has the text that we have created by GPT. So super cool, super effective, and super useful. Now let's also go into Facebook, which is also a draft page that I've created. And let's see what we have gotten. As you can see over here, it's also created a post on Facebook. See, the text is different, catered to Facebook with more details. So super cool, and the image is also posted as well. Alright, and so that is it for today's automation. You can play around with this and do many things, even automate it to other platforms such as LinkedIn or Twitter, and you can make this as effective and as complex as you want. And now you have your own social media machine with a powerful AI image generator such as Flux working for you 24/7. So once again, thank you for staying to the end. I hope you found this video useful. If you like automation videos like this, do give it a like and subscribe, as I do have other automation videos that you will find useful as well. Till then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.